Bible says, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." Recently, Barnes & Noble republished H.L. Mencken's commentary on Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophy. The commentary is titled The Philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche, and it was first published in 1908. Like Christopher Hitchens in our day, Mencken was a contrarian. That is, he enjoyed nothing more than to argue contrary to another person's position, regardless of its strength or veracity. Mencken was also a great admirer of Nietzsche, a hater of Christianity, and a despicable racist. He boldly published denigrations of the black and Jewish races, and he was the devoted disciple of Darwin's theory of evolution. In fact, his support of evolution went down in history. Dennis Sweet, Ph.D. in philosophy from the University of Iowa, writes the following in his introduction for the republished edition. Quote, "During the summer of 1925, Mencken reported on the Scopes monkey trial and is credited with coining the description of the affair, which concerned the teaching of evolution in public schools. Mencken's colorful descriptions of the trial's characters and events did much to dramatize for the American public the issues at stake as well as the personalities involved." End quote. Philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche, Introduction, page 8. So it is understandable that Mencken would produce a commentary praising Nietzsche's philosophy. Nietzsche was the first philosopher of evolution, and his notions encouraged scientists as well as Nazis to pursue evolutionary theory and eugenics with vigor. Past 5 articles have been examining Nietzsche's work titled Human All Too Human. Below is Mencken's description of how Nietzsche's Human All Too Human impacted not only Germany, but even his friends and family. Mencken writes the following, quote, "As the author had expected, the book provided a fine frenzy of horror among the pious. Nietzsche sent a copy of the book to Wagner, and the great composer was so appalled that he was speechless. Even the author's devoted sister, who worshipped him as an intellectual god, was unable to follow him. Germany, in general, pronounced the work a conglomeration of crazy fantasies and wild absurdities. Nietzsche smiled with satisfaction." End quote. The Philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche, Chapter 3, page 26. The above quote in mind, let's take a look at another comment from Nietzsche that may have shocked the pious of Germany in his day. The following quote is on the topics of honesty and the desire to inflict pain on others. "Atheists that glory in hedonism and egoism, like the Marquis De Sade, sometimes take an interest in torturing or embarrassing others." Nietzsche touches upon this topic when he writes the following quote, "But are there many honest people who will admit that it is pleasing to give pain? That one not infrequently amuses oneself, and amuses oneself very well, in causing mortification to others, at least in thought, and firing off at them the grape shot of petty malice. Most people are too dishonest, and a few are too good, to know anything of this pudendum, shame." End quote. Human All Too Human, Part 1, First Division, Section 50, page 46. True it is that the wicked hearts of fallen men often desire to inflict pain on their neighbor, if not in their actions, then at least in their secret thoughts. As sinners, we desire to hurt those who disagree with us, who oppose us, or who we find offensive. It is in the nature of fallen man to desire to see folly or mischief to come upon some other person, even if we are not the cause. Have you ever had to stifle a laugh when you saw some person stumble and fall? Examples such as this could be multiplied exponentially, and yet they are mere signs that we are not seeking the benefit of our neighbor. But these wicked desires are not just limited to our enemies. They also manifest themselves towards our friends. The 6th commandment not only forbids self-murder and the murder of our neighbor, but it also teaches us we should actively seek to preserve our own life and the life of our neighbor. Jesus says, and I quote, "Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say unto his brother, Raca, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, Thou fool, shall be in danger of hell fire. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. End quote. Matthew chapter 5, verses 21 through 22, chapter 19, verse 19. Nietzsche's deliberate choice of the word pudendum also hints at the depravity commonly associated with the notorious atheist Marquis De Sade, for the word pudendum can also be interpreted to mean female genitalia. I once heard a philosophy teacher at the University of Tennessee tell his class that Nietzsche had contracted the venereal disease syphilis when he was visiting a brothel at an early age. I cannot help but to think that Nietzsche was certainly the recipient of God's terrible punishment in more ways than one. The Bible says, and I quote, "It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God." End quote. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 31.